The city of angels is black and gold. You are listening to the Heart of LAFC podcast. And now, Joseph Zacher.
Greetings, Los Angeles. Welcome to episode 357 of the Heart of LAFC podcast. That's right, we're calling it summer break as MLS takes a break from its schedule to jump into another random tournament made for TV, of course. We get to cosplay a little bit as if we were LA Gamekis, but you know, that kind of fun stuff, which kicks off Friday against Cholos. We're definitely going to cover that today. We're going to talk about the bounce back win against Seattle, massive win there, and get you up to date on a couple other fun things we can talk about. You know how it works. Of course, I'm on here. Tony's on here. Bam might be joining us a little bit later. Araceli is on duty at the All-Star game, coming back from it. So we'll catch her next episode, that's for sure. Tony, how are you doing, sir? You ready for tomorrow's game?
I am doing well. Allergies just kicked in. Sorry, I didn't want that sneeze on Mike, but I'm doing pretty well. Excited that we got 3 points on the road. A very hard 3 points, but an easy 3 points, so to say. It's like a weird way to saying that because Seattle is a fortress that is hard to win nowadays. Before it was decently okay, but now it's a little bit harder. But excited for the new. I understand it is a made for TV tournament, but like anyone would say, if you're in a tournament and there's a trophy at the end, you gotta win it.
It gets connected to other beautiful things. We know that too. So it does have some weight if you can pull this thing off. No guarantees, of course, as the competition is stiff. Let's be real. But there's a good chance for us, especially since the whole tournament is played, well, stateside. So huge benefit for us. Of course, things are looking good for us. Form looks like it's returning as we get a big win against Seattle, as we'll cover right now. And of course, Cholos is just getting kicked off for their new season. So yeah, we'll get you there. All right, let's talk about that Sounders game. Of course, I think we're a little bit of doldrums in the lead up to this thing as form has been off a bit. Of course, the big statement would be getting a result in Seattle, where Seattle technically or historically has been hard for us in their house on the carpet. But lately, that's been another story. Of course, they came into this on a huge streak. We didn't. So if you were looking at the numbers and the way things were lining up, it wasn't supposed to be the way it actually turned out, right? You would think it was going to be a much tighter, much tougher game. But boy, the boys are ready for this one. That's for sure. Of course, lineups for this, there was a minor tweak as well. In this case, we came out with a 3-4-3. But we all know Campos and Palencia were dropping back as much as needed in this thing. Lineup was as follows. Lloris, of course, in goal. Chenot, Murillo, and Long holding things down as our three center backs. Atuesta Sanchez doing the job in the midfield with Palencia and Campos basically patrolling the line. Ordaz started up top, right? Bogus and Bawanga on there as well, up high this time. Yeah. So a little bit of a different view on things. Obviously, we love to take advantage of their outside backs. That's what we do against them. And guess what? It was more of the pylon. The planning was there. It was what we were going to do. Of course, Seattle being in form, not going to be a pushover. Their lineup, not too shocking. Once again, as we've discussed 20 million times about this team, they went with a 4-2-3-1. Their bread and butter. Fry was back in goal. Gomez and Reagan were your back line. Roldan and Tolo were your outside backs. Again, no surprises here. Vargas and João Paulo, defensive mids. Rusnak, your playmaker, with De La Vega and Baker Whiting as your outsides. Now, up top, Morris was the target striker. Again, no surprises here. It's exactly what we expected from these guys. Tony, no shocker, right? At all.
No shocker at all.
All right. So I'm going to hand this one to you. Let's get those highlights because there was a lot of them this time.
Yes, there were. And we'll just start off right off the bat. In the 14th minute, Tolo gets a yellow card for let's just say handball. It was weird because he jumps on the ball. I wish I had Bam here for this one, but like very rugby-esque style. You know what I mean? He like jumps on it and tries to cover the ball like it's a huddle and everything, and but before he does that, he gets a hand on the ball before it touches the ball. So before that, that's what they called it. Reviewed it. Ends up being a penalty kick still on the field, and then Bouanga ends up putting it away in the 16th minute because it took 2 minutes to do that. And then not even 10 minutes later, with the goal of the week and a very it was a nice strike by Bogus. As I noticed, a nice strike after the ball gets cleared out. Bogus is right there outside, one touch, kind of, and gets it. Not a hard. Not I'm just gonna say it wasn't even a hard hit, but it was a good placement kick that just got past everyone, the keeper and the defender, and Bogus with the goal of the day. And that is how we end the half with 2-0 going into the second half.
Yeah, knuckle down, put it where they aren't. That's how you do it. Bogus did it easy on that one. Yeah, I gotta say that penalty was a little bit wild. I'll say that right now. Nothing looked entirely conclusive in the moment, but yeah, I mean, how else are you gonna get control the way he got control, right? It's kind of obvious on that end. But in the little replays they were showing, it was a melee, man. But yeah, Tolo, I'm telling you, every time we play, that's the guy we pick on. That's the guy that always jacks it up against us and does something wrong. We own him. Let's be honest. It's been really tough for him. Season in, season out. I think he's our inaugural match or something like that was the guy that got dusted by Rossi, right? Like, dude, it's crazy. It's just crazy that he's been there that long. One, two. Yeah, he always has issues against LAFC, but there we go. Once again. Now, into the second half, we didn't really let up. I mean, control-wise, I gotta say, like Seattle found themselves right in the second half. They were doing what they needed to do to try to get back at us, but really, yeah, weren't able to really break us down. Tony, of course, what eventually happens?
K Kamara with a brilliant pass to Denis. And for this one, he ends up putting it away, putting us 3-0 for the brace of the game. But a couple minutes later, further on in the half, there is a similar play where he just can't get the right touch on it and ends up shooting, and the keeper ends up blocking it and missing that golden opportunity to get the hat trick for the day and putting us up 4-0. But like everyone was
get the elevation, right?
Yeah, they didn't get the elevation, didn't get anything of it. But this, as the commentators were saying on the call, were saying, if it comes down to one goal, Bouanga's going to look back at this goal and be like, that was the goal for me to be Golden Boot winner for the season.
Oh yeah, definitely. And when we play these guys in the Open Cup, it's gonna be a little bit tighter, and moments like that need to work itself out. You got to finish them, even if it's the blowout that we had. Because let's be honest, 3-0 in that place. Not a lot of teams get to say they've done that. That's not a very common situation in that fortress. But we got it, and so we'll take it. We'll move on. Of course, a little bit costly, you could say, because of the game before, and we'll talk about that in the lead up to the Cholos match, about a few faces that won't be ready for that because of past injuries. But yeah, basically it worked for us. We got the job done. We move on. Kamara, I swear, it's like he just took 10 years off of his life and he's back in his prime, and the vision is there. He's got people to work with, and he's coming off as kind of the glue out there when he does play. It's really fun to see. It's for those of us that have been around to really observe his career, to see where he's at now. I don't think he's been any better than he is now. Like this is why he has, he's pushing towards the record. This is Kamara, man. This is beautiful. So good on him. Just love seeing it continue, and I know he'll feature well as we continue on, because the fit is there. The vibe is there. It's beautiful. Tony, any thoughts from you before we jump over and let a few of our other friends here celebrate with us?
Again, as I said in the last game, I felt we needed 3 points. Tie is of course everybody wanted, and everyone thought maybe a loss because of the trend that we were going on because of the loss to Columbus. It was a really hard loss, a very hard loss. It's like I'm just kind of like, not putting too much emphasis on it because it is what it is. And then the tie against Salt Lake, which we should have won and couldn't pull out 3 points on that. But going into Seattle, I wanted the 3 points. I would have taken a point, of course, but I wanted the 3, and we got the 3. It showed the boys could bounce back if needed to, and finally got a hard, good win on the road. Yes, it was simple, easy by scoreboard wise, but again, if you saw the game, all the slip and sliding on that turf, you saw that black stuff go up everywhere after every ball, after every slide, after every run, anything you saw. It's hard to play on that turf. It's hard to play on turf in general, especially on that. And like, you'll bring up in the next what ended up happening when you play on turf. A lot of people get hurt or pull something from a prior injury. So I'm not saying that was a problem, but overall, excited. It was a good way to end the season, put a pause on the season. Let's just say that pause for this new tournament that we're going into. And, especially get some good rest for most of our players. And, congratulations for Bawanga and Lloris on the All-Star game. Didn't do too much, which I'm happy for. They showed up, they got there, they did their thing, and no injuries, so we're good.
Hey, Lloris didn't even concede a goal, did he? In the little time that he played, even though the MLS All-Stars got shellacked, it wasn't on our guys. They did their job. So, as they, it's our guys, man. We're good. We're good. At least they're healthy, coming back, ready to go. 15 minutes or whatever you want to call it. A really short amount of time played, but that's fine. That's good. That's amazing. They didn't overdo it for those dudes. So all good things on that end. Tony, do you want to go to the LAFC2 update?
So for the LAFC2 update, it's pretty simple. There's not much notes on it. I'll give you the quick, I guess, cliff notes, but the highlights of that match is we were down a man early on. If you got there, you got to watch it. Down early on, go into the second half, end up scoring 2 goals to put us able to go to penalty kicks and come out with a win. Tie, of course, because actually this is a perfect time to talk about this for a second, because this is a good transition for the tournament, like most people don't know. So in MLS Next Pro, a tie, you still get a point, and if you win the penalty shootout, you get the additional point, like hockey. The reason I bring this up is because Leagues Cup is doing that similar style of game, where if you play full 90 minutes, each team gets a point, goes directly to penalty shootouts, and then whoever wins that shootout gets the extra additional point. That's why I bring that up. And also shout out to the LAFC 2 members for going up into the rafters, because you know where you guys are at in Seattle, and hanging out with the 3252 and chanting with them. So shout out to them for being able to stay out, watch the game, but watch it with the 3252.
Yeah, fantastic. We love when you guys do that stuff. Senior players have done it up there before when they haven't been dressed for the game. It's fantastic. Again, bigger connection, the better. I know 3252 paid a visit to training this week as well. Again, more of those, the better. More people get a chance to see that. Again, greater connections. It's a good thing. The other fun thing that happened this weekend, Empire Boys hosted a watch party in an actual airport terminal. That was pretty cool as well over at Ontario. Good on you guys for doing that. That was fantastic. Hopefully that keeps even bigger. So good stuff in the LAFC universe, that's for sure. All right. I see about 12 comments waiting. Let's get to you guys. Let's hear from the fam. Ooh, it starts early, and here we go. Gerardo Rios in there says, let's effing go. I'll throw it right there. Dave Gomez also in the mix says, let's do this LAFC thing. Yep. Gerardo Rios says, we cannot underestimate the Liga MX teams. TJ is not a big dog of Liga MX, but certainly not Juarez either. Hey, man, Cholos are Cholos, dude. Like, seriously, they've had a good history. There's been some downs, that's for sure, but they're on a winning record to kick things off. They kicked the heck out of Chivas. They did, people. They're not a pushover. We know that for sure. They'll be ready. You know that. And it will not be easy. And the support will be here. They will show up. They will sing for the 90 minutes. I expect it. Proper challenge. If you're not putting in your A game as a supporter, you're going to get owned in this one. That's for sure. So get ready for it. I'll talk a little bit more about it, but you're right, man. Call it as you see it. Gerardo says, we have a healthy roster. We should be good. We don't have a healthy roster. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. I know. What? Yeah, we will. Dave Gomez says, Liga MX teams have way more than a few DPs. Hey, man, they actually pay people. What a thought. And the thing about Liga MX is the journeymen get paid well too, not just the stars. So it's a little different look at things. And yes, they go 14 deep with potential starters. They can do that because of the way they pay scales are. They can hold on to people better than we can, especially if they're the mid-level guys, where we can't really pull that off. And that's why, you get what you pay for at the end of the day. Kickball Pod says, yes, the Tijuana fans traveling heavy. I'm sure we're going to see Los Rudos. That's for sure. Hey guys, again, this is an experience for everybody. And at least, you know what I like about it? We're in our own house for this one. We're not at the Rose Bowl for this one. We're in our own house. So not only do we get to test our mettle against the Liga MX side, we get to do it in our house, guys. And I think that's really, really important for us at this stage. I think it's critical. So, yeah, that too. I know they're going to travel heavy. Why would they not? If there was a game in TJ, we'd be traveling heavy. I'd expect it from all of you. Mendo says, what's up, Tony, Joseph, and Heart of LAFC comrades? Hey, happy to have you on here, Mendo. Oh, we have podcast royalty on here. Christian Philemon, that's right. Philly says, what a jacket. I had to put the collars wide. Everybody keeps doing this high neck thing, and I'm like, that ain't the 70s, man. This. Of course, they probably like, no shirt underneath because it's the 70s, man. But yeah, wide collars there. I mean, dude, this reminds me of like the Beckenbauer jacket that they used to have out, man. It has the same kind of look. Like I have one. It was a 25th anniversary of the Copa Mundial, right? They had a jersey. They had one come out, and it was 70s style cut. So this kind of fits the Bill guys. Yeah, for sure.
Also, shout out to Philly for being a man of his word and doing the shoey for Bam calling him out for the score. But of course, Philly is a man of his word. Again, shoeys are fun, but at least I hope it was a clean shoe, if I remember right, because
it looked pretty new to me. Yeah, I think we wrecked a collector shoe in the process here. Just saying. Good on you, Christian. We love it, man. We love it, dude. Keep doing what you do. I told you that a long time ago. It's amazing to see the work that you put in, dude. It is appreciated by all of us. Keep it up. Mendo says, new type players are irritating. I don't know. He's the gift that keeps on giving for LAFC, so keep him out there. I'm good. I love players like New because they produce for our team. Yeah. Mendo also says, play mind games, always borderline book type challenge. I mean, that's the game, dude. If you're outpaced by somebody, how do you slow them down? Yeah. Get between the ears. That's how it works. Mendo says, jacket makes you zip your drink with your pinky out. There you go. The wide collars are the story, guys. If it ain't a wide collar. See, I was shocked when our jerseys came out that we went V-neck. Because it's like, imagine if it was this on the jersey. I'm just saying. Would have been kind of cool. I know, not to play in, just to wear as fashion. I get it. Mendo says, played in a Sunday league in Glendale in summer and turf, not a joke, especially with carbon fiber cleats. Dude, I've had that stuff get in my eyes as a goalkeeper, especially one-on-one challenges. You get covered in that nonsense. Every training session I had with my team, like the kids I coach, dude, your shoes are full of those things. They're horrible. They never go away. And then they show up all over your house like for the next 6 months. So Tony's laughing because he knows it's true. Yeah. All right. And Mendo says Philly is the best. Yeah, we love you, man. It's all good. That's for sure. Tony knows. All right, guys. Thank you. Love all you guys as well. And comments, you got them covered. We do want to hear from you guys when we talk about Cholos, though. Definitely. You probably know more than we do, let's be honest. We know a little bit, not a whole lot, but yeah, we know the faithful even know that much more. So yes, keep the comments going. And on that note, we continue on. What do we do? Community news. That's what we're due. Tony, what you got for community news?
For community news, the beach meetup is still happening this Saturday, if I remember right. I think signups are already closed and everything like that. So, unfortunately, if you guys are going, if you haven't signed up, I don't believe they're opened anymore. You can always try and see, or you can always just show up and have fun and see if you can just help out. Sometimes you just needs to help out, and that's all that is needed. Also, the art show is still going on. It's submissions are still required if you like to by the end of, I believe, coming up in the next month. So make sure you look out for that. Again, I'll post these on the socials. And that's about it. Again, there are tailgates. There is a couple little surprises coming out. Do not care for a split scarf that is going up from HQ. I've never been a fan of those, especially with Liga MX teams, and I will not get one if we play a certain team as well, because even though they are the team I grew up with, still won't do that. But besides that, that is all for community news, and let's get ready for. Well, let's get into
Cholos
some.
Kingless.
Let's get into some music first before we go into the
Oh,
Cholos
yes.
Kingless.
Some music. All right. So, couple thoughts on this one. I'm just going to throw it out because a new album came out from one of my favorite bands. Highly Suspect just released As Above, So Below. Again, really big fan. I know Philly's a fan of Highly Suspect as well. He'll tell you. Good band, got some style to them. Each album's got a whole different life to it. So, yeah, it just came out. So, definitely check that one out. And then if you want to get the Tijuana vibe, I would say Carlos Santana, anything by him because he's from there, right? Grew up there. Would be an excellent choice for another album as well. Let's check out anything from Carlos Santana. Anything you want to throw in there, Tony? Any other music you want to mention connected to TJ?
Not connected to TJ at all right now. There's you know the vibes. Everyone knows the vibes, especially if you grew up in Southern California as a Mexican American or just a SoCal kid from anywhere in Southern California. Those trips before everything got like super locked down, you could just go to TJ, have some fun, and experience some good. I hear they have a good Chinese spot. Very good Chinese spot. So, but besides the point, yeah, TJ, there's a lot.
Oh, the stories that we will never tell on air. Yes.
Oh, I can't wait for the stories that will be never told when San Diego comes in, or if this tournament ever goes into Mexican territory and if we have to play TJ, the stories that could be told and never been told.
I just hope all you make it back, man. Like that kind of thing. But yeah. It's TJ, man. We all know how that runs. So they're coming here though, guys. Critically important. They're coming here. It's Leagues Cup. We missed out on I thought we were gonna get Mazatlan last year and it didn't quite work out. But hey, at least we're getting TJ. And that's cool. That's cool with me. All right. So you got your community news, you got your Vinyl Club minutes. We've talked about reactions again, guys. Keep throwing it up there. We want to hear what you guys have to say about this match coming up because again, it's a unique one. It's different. So let's get into it. What's Tijuana up to? What is Club Tijuana up to? Well, I can tell you this right now. They're just kicking things off for the new season, which is a little crazy that they're going to take this month off after just getting going. But they're only about 4 games into the season, right, Tony? That's it. 4 games. Crazy.
4 games with a new head coach.
Who's a well-known head coach, right, sir?
Former Mexican national team manager.
Didn't he do MLS as well?
A little bit, just a little bit,
a little bit MLS. So yeah, he's done a lot. He has a lot of damage. We'll just say that. We'll go from there. All right. So 4 games played. They've got 2 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie. I think the most memorable win they had was a few weeks back. They managed to get a 4-2 victory at home against Guadalajara. Yep. Otherwise, they don't travel well. I'll say that right now. They lost to they tied Atletico San Luis last game, 1-1. They went to Cruz Azul and got rocked 3-0. right? And Tigres, I think, took them down 4-1, I believe, but that was a while back. Better ones again. Querétaro, they got to win. That was their first one of the season. But yeah, that's where they're at right now. Home, fine. Away, not so fine. And so that's what we're looking at now. What are you going to get from them? Again, you have a coach that's what, 4 games in. So what are you really going to get from them? A little bit of unpredictability, right? Maybe something a little more conservative more conservative than we're used to seeing from TJ. Let's be real. They're playing with the 4-2-3-1. I remember they were high flying back in the day. But yeah, a little more conservative because, well, we know who their manager is, right, Tony? Are you expecting anything different?
No.
No.
He's a very conservative, nothing too crazy, nothing too spectacular, and nothing too exciting, nothing too creative. It's like looking at the U.S. national team or the England team, whichever you prefer. Nothing creative.
He's a chessboard coach. Let's just call it what it is. He plays protect. He switches things according to the opponent rather than making the opponent switch to his team. This is the criticisms, and some people like that, right? Mr. Tactician, but it's kind of always been a little overblown, over the top. And so that's his knock, right? But if he has a strong side, it will work out anyways for him. Now, who stands out so far? Well, in 4 games, Domingo Blanco's got 2 goals. Raul Zuniga's got a pair of goals as well. Rivera, Gonzalez, and Castaneda have all gone on the sheet as well. Setup so far, we've got Vega with 2 assists. Joe Corona, we know that name. He's got 1. So there you go. Familiar face, folks. Not for the greatest reasons, but a familiar face, right, Tony?
There's another familiar face on that team as well.
Go for it, man.
Reynoso from Minnesota.
Yep. Who is in the lineup? Who was playmaker last game? Familiar face. Yeah. So let's talk about it. 4-2-3-1 against Atletico San Luis. Again, a draw on the road. They had Antonio Rodriguez in goal. Unai Bilbao in the lineup. He played the role of center back. You had Balanta, you had Fernandez and Contreras as your outside backs. Madrigal and Corona were your defensive midfielders. Of course, Reynoso, the playmaker that we know of. Alvarez was your outside right midfielder. The other Alvarez, yeah, I said it, was the other one. Yeah, and then Castaneda was your target man up top. Like, we haven't just played a team that plays the same exact system. Yeah, no shock there. He can switch up, though. When they did play against Guadalajara, they played at 3-2-4-1, so 3 center backs to hold things down. So that is something that you might see. Like, again, he's the kind of coach that will switch everything up if he feels it's going to give him an advantage and match a team that he's playing against. Seeing how he's coming up to an MLS side, don't be surprised if he shakes things up again and throws us all off. Could be the story. I see Bam's kind of in the shadows. Have we put him on? Let's do it. Hopefully Bam can just... Hey, Bam, we got you on right now. Can you hear us?
Can hear you loud and clear.
There we go. So we are previewing our friends over at Club Tijuana. Talking about Osorio, of course, who's now in charge over there, and his tactical approach to the game. That's for sure. Seeing where they're at right now. Are you excited about this tournament? Or are you like most people, like, oh, here we go?
I'm excited to play a team from San Diego. Should be good.
San Diego's real team? What?
The OG San Diego team. Looking forward to playing against them. But other than that, it's Leagues Cup. Who really cares?
Yeah, that's why I called it summer break. Let's be honest. It's summer break. If things go wrong, are we all going to die? No, nope. We have the season to play. If things go wrong, what's the worst that can happen? Everybody gets 3 weeks off and they get rested. Oh, poor me, right? You want to get results, though. That's for sure. You don't want to get embarrassed. But at the same time, right, Bam, it's kind of like, well, it's a showcase tournament.
Yeah, it's 100% showcase tournament. Like, you don't want to get embarrassed. A 1-0 loss here and there is not the end of the world, especially when we're 2 wins away from winning the US Open Cup.
That's
to me, that's more important.
Yep. Way more important. It's absolutely critical. So that is that, right? Bam. So last game he played a 4-2-3-1, but we saw against Guadalajara he played with 3 center backs, 2 defensive midfielders, 4 wide in midfield. It's really strange, and a target man. Do you think we're going to see a shakeup to Tijuana's lineup, or we're going to once again have to play a team playing 4-2-3-1?
I think we'll go with a 4-2-3-1, but don't be surprised that after 20 minutes it gets shaken up, their formation.
Kind of shake us up as well, right? Kind of throw us off
Yep.
a bit. Yeah, it could happen. Again, it's gonna be very dynamic from these guys in terms of what he's asking of them. Will they answer the call? I do not know. Those who are watching TJ a little more than we do can kind of tell a little better than we can. I will say that. Highlights, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. They'll be competitive this year. That's for sure. I think, at least a 500 team. That's what I'm seeing from them. Maybe a little bit better. They've got hopes, that's for sure. But in this tournament, again, it's going to be a challenge for us. That's for sure. Tony, thoughts on the match going into this thing?
Thoughts on the match for just in general? It's
Mm-hmm.
going to be a hard one. It's like, I want the win, so it's easier, so we don't have to worry about Vancouver, which we've played Vancouver multiple times, and you know how that goes. So we don't have to really break that down next time. But it's going to be a hard match. There's going to be support. It's going to be really good, and it's going to be really hard. So that's what I'm expecting from that match right now.
Yeah. I'm again happy it's at home. I'll say that I'm happy it's at home. It is an advantage for us. Of course, that brings it to us, and I think that's a bigger story. We know that Tillman is technically out. That's what it's listing. Am I wrong in this, guys?
Mm-hmm.
And then who else was listed? Again, it was a little bit like, oh, really? Are we really doing this? A couple guys that we were expecting to see play aren't going to play in this match. Let me see. I'll look at it again. I just had it up. Oh, Oliveira. Well, we saw what happened to him, so it wasn't pretty. That's for sure. So both of them are listed. De La Valle, of course, hasn't been available all year, but those are the 3 names coming up, which taking Oliveira out of the lineup, taking Tillman out of the lineup, it hurts. It definitely hurts. So, Tony, I know we're going to have to cope here, but we coped last game and seemed to be okay. Do you think we're going back to 4-3-3, or do you think that we might have seen a preview for the next approach?
I think we saw a preview for the next approach. I don't think we go back to the 4-3-3 because we don't have the people in the spots. And I think this is a good opportunity time to see how that goes. We just so everyone knows and everyone's already heard, we won't be getting Drew till the end of August. So just FYI.
Letting him rest. Okay. He will, I guess, rumor is number 9. We did hear that one, and I saw some jerseys floating around. So 9? Yes, 9. All right. So if that's being said, let's look back at the Seattle lineup. Looking at that one, of course, the 3 center backs. Again, Chanot, Murillo, Long. Bam, I'm asking you, is that going to be the same 3 for you, or are you going back to 4?
Same 3.
All right. Lloris starts, or we give it to a kid?
I'd say start Lloris, but I think go to Lloris. Do you want to start? Do you want to have a break? Let him make the decision.
Right. I think Lloris starts so we can rest people against Vancouver. I think this is the good one, right? This is the one we all want to pay to see. The other one we got forced to pay to see. But yeah, there's that. All right. Midfield situation. We know who's out. Last time we had Sanchez and Atuesta basically holding fort with Palencia and Campos out wide patrolling the lines. Tony, do you think it's going to look exactly the same this game?
It should be. If it's like, again, Cholos right now is still a new team under a new man and a new coach. And as Mendoz points out, they can't keep a clean sheet. So this is a good time to just go wide and go far.
And they don't travel well. That's what we've seen so far. All right, up top last game, it was Ordaz, Bogusz, Bouanga. I'm going to predict it's Kamara instead of Ordaz this match. Tony, what do you think?
I agree with you. I think Ordaz does deserve the start. But the way Kamara ends up playing today, last couple of games, and especially last game, I feel like he deserves to start on this one. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Ordaz up there in front.
Okay. And Bam, you're starting 3.
So is Kamara, but Kamara's only get the first half. Ordaz comes in at halftime.
60 minutes at most, right? From
Yep.
Kamara. Okay. All right. And then Bogus Bwanga, why would it not be that? Now, substitutions will be a story. I think that'll be always is against Liga MX sides. We're not as deep as they are in many cases. So I know that the common faces probably Martinez and Duenas, Hollingshead, right? I think those are your 3 logicals. If they're ready to go, they're ready to go. Anybody else, Tony, that you expect to see in this match?
Martinez for sure. If we've already discussed him, he's going to be a very person to keep an eye on as well. Angel is one of them. The other 2, I know I'm putting up strikers, but this is a good opportune time, depending on how well. Not taking them lightly. Again, Tijuana is not a team to get lightly. Again, it's not just. But if we are going to experiment, why not experiment the first game? And I'm just going to say that on that part.
So there we are. All right. So that is our prediction so far. I see about 7 comments from the faithful. Let's get some info from you guys. We'll bounce that off as well. All right. Moving all the way up. We've got Mendoza expect a great atmosphere tomorrow at BMO. Hoping for a W after a loss and tie the last 2 home games. Yeah, right. A turnaround. That's for sure. That's what you want to see. Mendo, how much time was Reynoso out from Minnesota before joining TJ? I mean, he was like MIA hiding, right? Personal reasons. Kind of forced a hand, I think, in this case. So not the most professional thing, that's for sure. But it was missing more than being there, right? It took him forever to come back. And yeah, not quite welcome, right? Oh, Mendo. Cholos may play for a tie tomorrow in the hopes of getting a win versus Vancouver. That would be the most Osorio thing ever, right? A chance to win a game, but nah. Second game. We'll do it second game. That definitely. I'm not hating on the guy. It's just that he thinks things like that, right? He's trying to play 4D chess. Kickball Pod says Leagues Cup party in downtown LA tomorrow. That's what we're doing. Mendo says, LOL, Bam coming in hot, playing versus the real San Diego. I mean, they've already established themselves down there with academies all the way up the coastline, right? All over San Diego County, they've been having an impact for a long time now. And yes, there's new blood in the water, you could say. We'll see what happens with that, of course. But yeah, from what I've seen so far, it's been a cooperative situation between both sides. But
yeah, I was going to say, didn't they announce that they're doing like a partnership?
Yeah, it's a friendly rivalry, you could say, and I think they're gonna play each other every year. Like there's an arrangement made. Yeah, it's good. That's for sure. But yeah, we all know if you go down there, you know. Mendo again says, Controlos can't keep a clean sheet. And Mr. Velez says Kamara off the bench would be his prediction. So there you go, guys. Prediction time is right there. We don't predict scores, you know that. We predict lineups. We talk about what to expect from the game itself. But yeah, that's what we're up to, especially League Cup. Man, this is the most unpredictable thing ever because you're not sure what to expect from anybody. They all play a little different when they get into this show. Mendo says, only asking about Reynoso due to the discussion about Vela returning, even though he's been out for months. I mean, I think it's a very different situation. Reynoso was under contract, but not showing up. Like, it's just jacked, man. In terms of Vela, he didn't get the contract he wanted, right? Didn't get signed up. So he's just enjoying semi-retirement. I don't know. I guess this is it. At this point, I got to figure this. This is it. He's happy where he's at. That's what it comes off as. So yeah. And let's be honest, our team's kind of turned the page, especially the players. They've kind of got their own vibe now, their own approach. Who stands out? Bogus is doing things that really kind of push things forward for us. So we don't really have to worry too much about Vela at this point because, well, kids are all right, Tony?
Yeah, kids are all right.
Yeah. So there goes that. All right, Bam. Anything you want to add to this preview tonight before we get going for the match tomorrow? Since we all got to get ourselves rested, ready, and on our way to the game.
Now I'm ready when you are.
Ah, there we go. So he's ready to close the show out. That's for sure. Tony, any thoughts, any suggestions before we do our final thoughts about this match?
No, for final thoughts for that one, but nothing really. We'll go with that one. But suggestion wise, if you want a quick breakdown of Cholos and a full deep dive into them, I know Philly and Scarf from Defenders just dropped a episode and before us of talking all about Cholos, so you can kind of catch up on your history if you're not familiar with Liga MX and how Cholos became, are doing throughout their history. So just check that out before if you would like to get more insight depth analysis on that. So shout out to Defenders for always doing that when it's a new team and doing the due diligence, because again, sometimes we forget that some people are new to MLS, to Liga MX, and just the whole football community. So yeah, and that's about it for little tidbits.
Yeah, I mean it's a great, it's an entertaining history at Cholos. So you definitely want to check that one out. With the whole Casino Caliente, really extreme stadium, we'll call it that. It's really different down there. So yeah, go for it. Listen to Defenders. They got you covered on that. On our end, though, we're getting ready for tomorrow's game. Both Tony and I will be in the North End as we always are. Bam will be safely at home, hopefully, maybe watching the Olympics. Who knows? Right, Bam? All is well, of course. All right. Yes, Bam.
Tomorrow I'm actually quite busy.
Ah, okay. You got business to take care of.
Yeah,
Then the weekend.
taking the missus out to a rare book expo.
Ooh.
Nice. Safe travels. Have a good time out there. That's for sure. All right. Now that you've mentioned your weekend plans, Bam, let's get some final comments from you, sir.
Final comments. I'm going to start out with a massive shout out to Philly. For those that don't know, that a couple episodes ago, before our last game, Philly wasn't too confident. So I made a bet with him that if we LAFC won, he had to do a shoey. And obviously, because he's on dry July at the moment, he still did it, but he did it with a Topo Seco. So for that, Philly, mad respect. Man of your word. So if you want to have a bet with Philly, he'll keep his side of the bargain. That's for sure. For everyone going to the game, be safe, look after each other, and always, mental health is a major factor for people. It's okay to not be okay. Phone calls can save a life. Look after your mates.
Well said, sir. Thank you. You are right. You are right. Look out for each other, especially when you're not sure quite how the opponent's fan base will take to the game. Look out for each other. That's for sure. Tony, your final thoughts?
Final thoughts of the day is drink a lot of water. It's going to be a hot one. If you're going to be there for the tailgate gates, drink H2O. Stay hydrated. It helps with headaches. It helps with skin. It helps you not dehydrate and feel like you're about to die. I've done that. It sucks. So drink a lot of water. Be safe out there because, again, Cholos are cool. Some people are fans or whatever, but this is a Liga MX team. Some of their fans are very rowdy, especially when they're drunk, especially when we're drunk. Words can be said. A fight can start out of nowhere. So be careful. Be careful going to games and make sure you're Oza, because there's been some incidents moving forward that has happened. So be careful taking public transportation, getting to the stadium from and away from the stadium. So just be careful on that if you can. And, overall, have a fun time. Let's chant full 90 and show them why we do what we do.
Well said, sir. Which brings me to my final thoughts. listen to the boys. That's for certain. I will double down on this. Look, we were playing a team from Liga MX. Their support will show up. Their support will sing. Their support will be strong. They are a test for us. They will put it together. They will figure it out. So it's on us to figure out when we're in the stands as well. You got to give your best. It's going to have a playoff vibe. It's a tournament. It's for keeps. Okay. Some of us might be in like, oh man, this thing. At the end of the day, once the whistle blows, none of the hemming and hawing matter anymore. You're in a battle, and you're in a battle against a team that will be ready for it, right? And a supporter group that will be ready for it. So go out there and do your thing. Show us what you got. If you're not in the North End, still sing. If you're in that stadium, make some noise, make it happen. Outside of the stadium, I'd say take it like a standard competitive match, right? Tie your scarf, the simple stuff, right? Be smart about your movements. Buddy system's always a good thing. It is what it is, right? It's a little bit more of a grown-up approach to things when you play against Liga MX side. That's just how it is. So do it. Be smart, be safe, look out for each other. And like Tony says, stay hydrated because we're gonna need your voices. That's for sure. And I will leave it at that. Of course, thank you all for checking in with us once again for the Heart of LAFC podcast. Bam, checking in on the road. Thank you, sir. Tony, thank you again. Araceli giving us the facts for LAFC 2, as she always does. Safe travels back from, I think she's at Cincy at this point. Yes, safe travels back. Enjoy your time out there. We look forward to seeing you back on the pod real soon. And for the rest of you guys, we'll see you at the stadium if we can see you at the stadium. Do not hesitate to strike up a conversation. We love talking to you guys. On that note, let's do it. Final word. Bam.
Stay golden.
Tony.
Stay golden, Los Angeles.
And from me to all of you, stay golden, Los Angeles.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the black and gold is taking over.